crypto taking profit strategy to maximize your gains during this crypto bull market. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly when I am going to be selling these large cap altcoins that are in my personal portfolio. I'm not only going to tell you the exact time I intend to sell them, but also the small cap and new altcoins that I'm going to be investing in with that money to make as much money as possible during this crypto bull market. So hit the like button and let's get into it. Now guys, if you're newer to crypto, you're probably thinking that crypto seems really random. Loads of coins seem to be pumping on some days and dumping on others, and you haven't got a clue what's going on. And don't worry, many people are in the same boat. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what is driving this crypto market, the time to be investing more heavily, and the time to start taking profits. So let's stop beating around the bush and get on with it. Okay, basically, crypto moves from bear markets to bull markets, and Bitcoin is the leader. Bitcoin is the first in the path to altcoin season. There's a very good reason why Bitcoin moves first, and it's because crypto isn't random at all. It's all linked to global economics. And in fact, Bitcoin is 86% correlated to global money supply. Now, money supply goes up and down for various reasons. But just for today, let's just understand that money supply moves up and down every 4 years, from periods of tightening to periods of easing. And during periods of tightening, we get bear markets because interest rates go up, inflation comes down, and people don't really want to invest, particularly into risk assets, of which crypto is the riskiest of assets compared to stocks, compared to property, compared to bonds. You get the picture. However, having interest rates too high and inflation too low causes economies to break. So after 2 years of a bit of austerity, they start to lower interest rates and pump up inflation, which is what they're doing around the world right now. And that's what leads to an increase in global monetary supply. And that's a very good thing when it comes to investing in crypto, because it means that risk assets are more likely to rise. And the most risky assets of all, of course, are crypto. But the least risky assets of crypto would be Bitcoin. Yeah, because it's got the largest market cap, it's the most stable. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. But every time Bitcoin dips 3% or 4% and Solana goes down 12%, that's what I mean by the least risky of the risk assets. And since investors move from the least risky assets towards the riskiest assets as we move through this liquidity cycle, that's why Bitcoin runs first in a bull market. And Bitcoin has been running since the end of 2022 after that FTX collapse. So for those of you who've just arrived in crypto, welcome. So if we know that Bitcoin moves first, what moves after that? Well, of course, it's the large caps. Now, if you've been subscribed to the House of Crypto, you've heard me talk about these things before, but it's so important because if you can grasp where the markets are moving and why they're moving there, it makes it very much easier for you to understand that you must start to take profits at certain points and when to take profits. Now, if we understand that there is a path to altcoin season that starts with Bitcoin, the least risky asset, and then moves down to the next riskiest assets, which are, of course, the larger cap coins. Again, the larger caps are much less volatile, well, simply because they require a lot more money to prop them up. For example, if you've got a coin with $1 billion market cap, to shift the coin one way or another, it needs to go up $100 million, which is quite a lot to get liquidated on one day or to be bought in on one day. On smaller cap coins, however, if you've got $1 million market cap, $10,000 is 1%. And if someone goes and dumps 100K onto the market, then they can push the price down 10% in just one single person. And if this is all starting to make sense to you and you're feeling like now you're actually going to be understanding what's going on in crypto, then make sure you are subscribed to the House of Crypto, because every single day I'm going to teach you how to fish in these markets. I'm going to tell you how to identify the coins to be buying and selling, when to be doing it, so that you can actually leave this market profitable, which is actually quite a rare thing in crypto. Anyway, enough about me. So we know that Bitcoin's been pumping. We know that a lot of large caps have been running really well as well, like XRP, Cardano, and others. But it's really crucial to realize that the large caps are moving, and then the large caps will typically start to slow down before the smaller caps start to run. Let's take a look at this. Now, this is the last bull market, and these are two different coins. Cardano, a coin that was around from the bull market beforehand in 2018, had a pretty damn good bull market last time round, where it did pretty much a 90x. However, Cardano hit the top of its bull market at the end of August in 2021. Now, that was a large cap coin that had been knocking around from the previous bull market. In contrast, this was Mana Decentraland, a new coin that didn't even really start its bull market until 2 months after Cardano had already hit the top. And after that, in just a few weeks, Mana Decentraland went and did another 7 or 8x, having already had some pretty good runs. And it wasn't just Mana Decentraland. Gala Gaming did the same, absolutely blew up in November. And Solana, again, a new coin on the block in the last bull market, didn't hit all-time highs until November of that year. Pay attention, because this part is very crucial. What am I telling you here? I'm telling you that the large cap altcoins from the bull markets before tend to have the most aggressive growth in the earlier phases of bull markets, but can often top out maybe a little bit earlier than some of the new coins. And that's very key to us, because it means a lot of these large caps that have been running really well recently are probably nearing a time that we need to be taking profits on them. Because while they might continue to tick up higher, they're actually not going to give us that much risk to reward, in contrast to some of the smaller cap and newer altcoins that are around right now. So why is that? Well, because these larger caps are less volatile than some of the smaller market caps, which means they're on that road from safety towards degeneracy. Okay, think of crypto like this. The market moves from the area of safety, okay, stocks, bonds, and stuff like that, into Bitcoin and maybe some of the large caps, down the road to like smaller cap coins that no one really knows. And then at the end of last bull market, what happened? We ran into the NFT phase. And yes, people have been talking about meme coins in this bull market, and there is a very good chance that at the end of this bull market that we see meme coins having an absolutely crazy season once more, having cooled off a little recently. So then, should we be selling the large caps that we're holding right now? Well, not just yet, because there is still upside in those large caps that is more guaranteed in the shorter term than maybe some of the smaller caps that you've been looking into. Because we're all holding small caps, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the small caps haven't really been moving that much, in contrast to the large caps that are giving us kind of guaranteed 2, 3, 4x's right now. And this is simply how to time when to start selling large caps to move the money across into smaller cap coins. Simply pay attention to the Bitcoin dominance. In the last bull market, the Bitcoin dominance started to dip towards the downside at the end of 2020. And we have literally seen this blow off top occur here. Okay, so this is when altcoin season theoretically began in the last bull market. We saw a big dip here. That's when we started to see Cardano start to run. That's when we saw XRP and other large cap altcoins starting to see some good moves. But that was way before anyone had even heard of the likes of Solana or Gala or Mana Decentraland or any of the coins that were the top performers in the last bull market. And look at where the Bitcoin dominance was when we started to see those run. And bearing in mind, we started to see Mana Decentraland and Gala Games and all those others really starting to rally in October of 2021. Bitcoin dominance had already fallen down to around 45%. And there's a very good chance that in this bull market, the Bitcoin dominance falls even lower than these areas because there are so many more new altcoins out there. People in crypto are becoming a bit more wise about the opportunities compared to Bitcoin. And that tells me that Bitcoin dominance could well be going down here. Okay, so we don't really need to get too concerned about offloading our large caps until Bitcoin dominance really is starting to break significantly into long kind of trends down here. But when can we see that really happening? Well, if we go to the others dominance chart, this is the key as far as I'm concerned for when I'm going to start taking profits from large caps and moving into smaller caps. The others dominance chart, rather than looking at the SUIs and AVAX and Aptos and being like, should I take profits on these yet? Just be patient, okay? Many of those coins still have a lot of room in them to run, but I'm looking at this, okay? Because the others dominance is the dominance of the coins outside of the top 10 against the top 10 coins. Okay, this is the indicator that we're moving from the sort of safer side of bull market into the more kind of degenerate times in the market where people are taking riskier and riskier bets. And that's when we want to sort of start to make that move as well. Obviously, we need to catch it early so that we can start to pull out early. And if you subscribe to the channel, then in the future, when the time is right, I'm going to tell you when I'm going to start getting fully out of this crypto market. Now then, as you can see on this others dominance chart, that's going to give us the indicator of how reckless the markets are getting. We're in this pattern that we've been in since the 28th of December. Now you can tell, if you were paying attention, that this is the exact time that Bitcoin dominance started to fall. We saw the others starting to rally up here, but it was really this second leg here, okay, that really started to see a big push in some of those smaller caps. Okay, so we've got a bit of time here. We can really afford to wait perhaps for a bit of a breakout from this area before we're exiting our large caps. Now, as you can see, I've got areas of interest that we can break up to. This is one here, okay? And at this first area, I will be looking to take around 25% of my large cap positions off the table, okay? I will take them off the table. What I do with that money, I'm going to tell you after, okay? But I will be starting to get out. And again, we've got another area of resistance. Once we get up towards here, guys, I'm going to be almost fully out of large caps by this point. Why? Because we are going to be in the most volatile end of the market. Now, what I start to do here is I take that money and I move it into smaller caps and new crypto coins. What I start to do here is I might still have a bit of a stab at some of the newer coins and things coming out, but a lot of this is going to go off into USDT. Now, I know the stories, Michael Saylor's saying this, and the big banks are saying this, but in my opinion, this is just part of the game, okay? Big banks are trying to take your money. They're going to keep telling you that Bitcoin's going to go to this value and this value to get you to continue aping in. But ultimately, this bull market will come to an end, and there is a time that you need to get out when everyone else is telling you to get in, okay? So I'm happier to take some profits off the table. I don't really care. Okay, I'm here to make money. I'm here to use the money rather than just have a bunch of paper profits. Okay, so we got our zone. This is around 13.6%, taking a good 25% chunk out of those altcoins. Up here, I'm going to be looking to take 50 to 75% out of those altcoins at around 17%. And then once we get up to this level, I'm pretty much all out of those, okay? With maybe some of that money going into fiat cash. You get the picture, okay? Now, what prices those altcoins end up at these points, I have no idea, okay? But these main charts are the easiest ones to pay attention to know where we're really at in the market cycles. So as I look across at the large cap coins, I'm looking at SUI, which I've been holding back since September, and I know a load of you jumped into that coin along with me back in September when I told you I was selling Solana to get into SUI. SUI has been running really hot. I still think there is significantly more upside in SUI. And why is that? Well, SUI has crazy volume, TVL surging towards the upside all the time. They've just partnered up with Backpack. They've partnered up with Phantom Wallet. They are doing crazy things all the time. This is very similar to what we saw in Solana in the last bull market that made Solana have that incredible run towards the end of its cycle. All of these things, I think, tell us right now that SUI has the potential to reach the market cap of Solana from the last bull market. So looking at Solana from the last bull market, what was the market cap? Well, it got up to around $71 billion, which is pretty damn big. But because of inflation, you can see the market cap is now $113 billion. So while the price of Solana right now is lower than it was in the last bull market, actually the market cap has increased significantly. So we should be paying attention to this. $75 billion on the table. How much higher can SUI go? Well, SUI currently sat at nearly $13 billion. To get up towards those heights is probably another 6 to 7x on the table. And now being up over 4x, if I can go and get another 2 to 3x out of this before I start to take a few of the profits off the table, I'm going to be pretty damn happy with that. And across the large caps, some of these have been moving a little bit slower and a little bit less aggressively than SUI, but I do anticipate that once we break out of that others chart, the likes of Aptos are aligning very similarly to that chart. Okay, so I do think that Aptos again will likely run very strongly. Okay, I'm not here to try and work out which of those large caps is going to run the strongest from here. Okay, because SUI has already seen significant moves, but it doesn't mean that it can't carry on. Yes, Aptos is lagging behind. Does that mean it has to play catch up? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, but I have already done the hard research into the large cap coins. If you want to know which of the large caps I'm holding, it's obviously all of these ones here. I made a video a couple of weeks ago telling you which large cap altcoins that I was holding so that I got exposure to gaming, so that I got exposure to layer ones and other things. Now, what I'm going to do with the profits from this in terms of the coins and things I'm buying into, well, I'm very keen on certain narratives: gaming, real world assets, AI, deepin. I'm going to be looking to put that money that I've made from those large caps into the smaller cap altcoins within those particular narratives. Again, I made another video about the small cap altcoins that I'm holding, so go and check that out. But I'm also going to be looking at probably the best opportunity that comes along at this phase and into the next phase of the bull market. And it is none other than buying into brand new coins that have yet to launch. Okay, I made a video about this the other day and how to find them. And I talked to you about Lingo. Lingo launched last Friday, and since then it had a little spike up, came down to a price that you could have got in at, and then it spiked all the way up around 98%. Now, I talked about Lingo on the channel the other day, and I talked about new coins and how to identify those top quality new coins. I also then said that after they have an initial launch, they will pull back into an area. If you can identify a bottom, which is fairly straightforward on some of these new coin launches, then you could have got in around here. You could have made yourself 150% in like the last 2 days. Okay, this is buying into a new coin that was heavily undervalued in my opinion. We identified it as basically within the real world asset narrative. Already got around $3 billion in TVL, one of the biggest followings across crypto Twitter, and overall just a really top quality project that was being launched at quite a low valuation. It's not even on coinmarketcap.com yet, and it's at a $60 million market cap. Okay, this is not the smallest cap by any chance, but you could have got in at under $30 million just a couple of days ago. And there are a lot of new top quality projects in the coming weeks and months. And if you want to know what they are, I'm going to be spending a lot of time on this channel focusing into those new altcoins getting launched, identify the top quality ones like Lingo. If you bought into Lingo last week after watching my video, let me know down below how much money you made on that trade. And as well, if you missed that, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell turned on so that you can also buy into this. So guys, just to recap, it's a very straightforward crypto market ahead of us. Large caps are going to have more upside in the coming weeks. Right now, you can see Bitcoin continuing to seemingly struggle at $101,800. But this is very indicative of what's trying to happen over on Bitcoin. These dips and these very aggressive buys towards the upside are showing clear market manipulation to try and shake out traders. But we are literally putting in a top here. Eventually, this is going to break and we are going to send, and the large caps are almost guaranteed to go with it. The large caps I'm holding, pretty confident I'm going to see some significant upside from here. I'm going to start to take profits. Once others' dominance is hitting up into this area, I'm going to take that money. I'm going to look towards small cap coins. I'm going to look towards newer coins. And if I can keep a cash reserve from this, and there's better opportunities because we get a dip in the future, then happy days. But preparing for a dip that you may or may not get in the coming weeks is a risky move in my opinion. If you weren't telling the tops a few days ago, then don't sell the dips that are currently happening in the markets. Now guys, I'm regularly being asked in the comments down below, where do you buy these altcoins? Because they're not on Coinbase and Binance. I keep telling you, you can't get these coins on those big exchanges because it's really difficult for new coins to list on them. Therefore, if you want to get any of these coins that I've talked about today, then go down to the description, click Bitunix, okay? Non-KYC exchange, has pretty much all the altcoins that I talk about on this channel and has extremely low fees. Okay, I will continue to try and get as many new coins listed on Bitunix as possible. So if you want the best crypto exchange that I use every single day, then make sure you sign up for Bitunix, link down below in the description. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hopefully it's useful for you. Hit that like button and I'll see you tomorrow in another video. Bye-bye.